Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Emnix Plays Path of Exile, Breach League Hardcore. If you weren't aware, and I guess now you will be aware, I got injured this weekend while at a ski trip, and I ended up fracturing my shoulder. I think I released a video and I put something in the description saying, chances are I won't be able to make many videos for the foreseeable future, and honestly it still applies. I probably won't be able to continue with, I think we were doing 2 videos an episode. I am slightly recovered. I didn't need a cast or anything. I am only on a sling, and I can kind of move my shoulder now, only barely. I actually have to sort of use my left hand to lift up my right hand. My right shoulder's the one that got injured, by the way, onto the table, and then I just move my wrists and my forearm, and my shoulder stays in one position. And really, I can't get too much mobility out of it. So if we die, that's gonna be my excuse. I'm injured. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling better, but not necessarily. We're gonna see after this episode. This is really the first episode I'm recording since my injury. Today's Thursday, and I got injured on Sunday. I already went to see the doctor. I went to the emergency room. It wasn't that bad, but when you're in Canada, you kind of have to go to the emergency room or to the hospital right away if you want to get anything done. That's kind of one of the problems with free healthcare, if you go to your family doctor, he's like, oh, okay, well, it looks like you got a fracture, or it looks like, I'm not sure what you have, but we'll have to get an x-ray. All right, let's go get we'll get you an appointment with the hospital. They'll call you when you're ready for the x-ray. And then the hospital calls you 2 days later, and they're like, okay, so the appointment is tomorrow at 11:30, come show up. And then you get your x-ray, and then go, okay, here's the x-ray, go back to your family doctor. So you schedule an appointment the next day with the family doctor, and then he's like, oh, okay, you either have a fracture or whatever. If you have a fracture, go to the fracture clinic that's at the hospital again. Go give them a call, they'll give you an appointment. And then 2 days later they call you again, and they're like, oh, okay, this is the fracture clinic, come back tomorrow at 11, come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and we'll give you some guidance. And then you get to the fracture clinic, and they go, oh, you're fine, you just need a sling, or you need a cast, or whatever it is you need. But after that whole process, it's been, I don't know, like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And if you actually had any sort of serious injury, like you'd be stuck in that, in pain for a week and a half, and they'd be like, well, we'll get you some painkillers in the meantime, just try not to move it too much. So instead, I just went straight to the emergency room, where the emergency doctor will take a look at you instead of the family doctor. And then there, the emergency doctor can also set you up with an appointment with either the x-ray or in my case, the ultrasound, because they didn't see anything on the x-ray the very next day, which is what I did. So Sunday, had to go to the emergency room, was there for 7 hours, and basically at the end of that, they're like, well, I took an x-ray. They go, well, it doesn't look like there's anything on the x-ray, but let's go take a look tomorrow on the ultrasound. So the next day, I go to the hospital, go get an ultrasound, and the person goes, oh, you actually have a fracture. It wasn't detected on the x-ray, but on the ultrasound, we saw it. So you're lucky. You'd rather have a fracture on your bone because that heals faster than like a torn ligament or something. So you know what? I guess I'm thankful I got a little lucky. And then they're like, okay, come back in 2 days, and then you show up at the fracture clinic. They're like, okay, well, it looks like it's not too bad. Just put it on a sling, and when you're ready to not have the sling anymore and it doesn't hurt anymore, take that off, and then you'll be fully healed in 6 to 8 weeks. And you go, oh fuck, seriously, 6 to 8 weeks? Can't do anything for 6 to 8 weeks. But at this point, I guess I can kind of move it, so it's not the worst. I'm assuming when they say healed in 6 to 8 weeks, they mean like fully healed. But what do I know? I'm no doctor. I'm just gonna go based on how I feel. That's the yourself best, right? So that's the biggest indicator, I suppose. So yeah, I injured my shoulder, and now I'm feeling a bit better. But I guess obviously I'm not 100% yet, or even 50% really. But at the very least, I can move my forearm, so that's good, I suppose. Sort of, losing the ability to move my arm on my right leg, or right arm, really sucks since I am right-handed. This guy wants to buy something. And like one of the problem is I can only type with my left hand because I can't actually move my arm. I can use my left arm to move my like lift it, but I can't actually do anything. Okay, so this guy wants elemental focus. Focus. So that's what I'm saying. If I die, you know, mostly due to the fact that I can't move very quickly. I mean, I can move my mouse hand. That's about it. TY soon. Except this guy knows. This man knows. Oh well. It's gonna be a thing. We're gonna make it a thing, guys. And you know what? For all the people that have been, you know, sending best wishes, you know, I hope you get better. Thank you all very much. I really do appreciate it. I am feeling better. So for those of you who were worried, you know, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Oh wow, that hurt. But yeah, at this point, I mean, I really like this league, and I don't want to bung it up. You know, I want to get through all the challenges. I want to be able to get through, you know, my build, hopefully multiple builds, right? I really wanted to commit to this league, and it's just such a shame that sort of the injury held me back for only a couple days, admittedly, right? But I don't think with this injury I'll be able to play as often as I did before, and even then I wasn't playing that often. Let's be real here. But I don't know. Hopefully it heals quickly, and we'll be good. In terms of how I got injured in the first place, as I have told you, or as I have mentioned, I was skiing, and you know, it was sort of the first day that the slopes opened, and I decided to go with my girlfriend, and I was having fun. I was excited. I was ready to go, and unfortunately, since it was the first day, there were just a lot of people, and I don't know. Maybe I just thought I was a better skier than I actually was. Now now in hindsight, I kind of recognize that I'm actually not good. It's just when I was a kid, when I was skiing like an idiot. Like I had no fear. That's all it was. But the fear is ingrained with me. You know, it comes with age. And it doesn't help that 2 years ago I went skiing and I got a concussion when I fell. And that was pretty bad. So you know, there was a little bit of PTSD involved there. Oh man, another person wants to buy stuff. Okay, that's cool. Hideout. Invite this man, and he wants cast on damage taken, which is this one. Level 13. Okay. TY soon. Ow! I tried to move my right arm. That freaking hurt. Alright. I know I said I was fine, but it still hurts, guys. It still hurts. I'm good. I think I'm good. Let me reposition my arm somewhere so that I can get it propped up with something. Gonna put like a little pillow here. Ah, that's a lot more comfortable. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So I was skiing, and some girl basically went too fast, or I think that's how it went. Basically, she turned into me, and I ended up running into her. And she was snowboarding, I was skiing, and my skis kind of hit her snowboard, and I think I tried to jump to avoid her. So she didn't get hurt, but I ended up fracturing my friggin' shoulder. Like, lucky me, I guess. And then, so yeah, like, that, it was my first run. Oh my goodness. It was my first run down the hill. And, so Someone just asked me, are you able to play Dota? Not really. That was my boss. My boss just messaged me on Steam and was like, yo, or one of the managers from work. He's like, I have so much time off. Why? Let's play Dota. I can't play something that takes that many actions. At least with this, I just kind of hold the mouse down and move my wrist. But with Dota, you know, you gotta do other stuff. I can't move my arm. So yeah. So I fell over. I was kind of on the ground. I was like really winded actually. I thought, I couldn't get up, and some ski patrol came by and was like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I think I'm fine. Like I can talk, I can move, but my right arm just feels very. I'm like, I just need a minute. So he's like, okay. He sticks around. He gives me a minute, and I'm still on the ground, like panting. I really had the wind knocked out of me. I think I went flying pretty far. But it was one of those situations where the skis didn't actually come off, so I'm assuming nothing happened to my leg. I just, landed straight on my shoulder. Both my shoulders, actually. And it's just that the right shoulder got, I guess, more force on it or something like that, because they both hurt. The left one still hurts, and it's cracking funny, but I don't think it's actually damaged or anything. If anything, just a little bruised. But yeah, so... Oh my goodness. Am I gonna die here? No. No way. Oh, corrupting blood. Gotta get out of there. Gotta click on these clasped hands too. Are there any more? So yeah, but after I sort of couldn't get up. If anything, when I was getting up, I couldn't use my right hand or my right arm to get up. And if I was just thinking, oh, maybe maybe I got the wind knocked out of me. Maybe I'm just kind of tired. Like, let's give it a couple minutes, and then I'll see if I can get back up. But when I got to the bottom of the hill, I tried to move my arm, and I'm like, I legitimately cannot. I cannot move my arm, right? Like, I can't lift my shoulder, can't lift my arm up. And it was the first run of the day. I felt really bad, so I told my friends and I told my girlfriend, I'm like, you know what, you guys go skiing. It's not too bad. I can just, I'm gonna get some ice, and I'll just sort of, let it be until the end of the day and see, see how it goes. But I think I'm done. I think I'm done for the day. And I think that was a good move. I think if I had gone back up to the back on the hill or on the slopes, and tried to ski some more, I really could have really added a lot more damage onto my arm. So I think I made the right decision there. But yeah, like, this is the second time, 2 times in a row I've gone skiing and I've gotten pretty seriously injured, and I'm starting to think it's not bad luck. The first time around, okay, maybe it's bad luck, like I just happened to fall. And to be fair, like, the slopes were really icy, and I was on the Black Diamond slope, so those were pretty steep. I didn't really know, like, in hindsight, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just maybe thought I knew. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I kind of want to go back. Like, and I enjoy skiing. I think it's a fun activity, but at this age, like, the fear, it's in you, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to avoid it. Like, I'm just really scared these days of skiing. Like, even when I was on the slopes, this week or last week, I was pretty scared. And I mean, maybe that says something about me, about my age. Maybe honestly, I'm not even that old. I'm like 20 something, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, don't think I'm gonna try skiing again. Well, here's the kicker. Actually, I actually had another ski trip booked for January. I have the hotel, I have the tickets, everything. It's all booked. and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I mean, if there's anybody who lives in the Toronto area and wants to buy one of them double down passes for me, they hit me up, I guess. Like, I bought it for $114. They basically last. You can use it at any point until the end of the season for Toronto Blue, or not Toronto, for Ontario Blue Mountain, and you can use it for two days, I think, 2 full days. That's how it works. I don't know if you're interested. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to look for some friends who want to buy the tickets off of me, or I wait until my shoulder's fully healed, and then I go back again and go skiing. But I don't know how I feel about going back. Like maybe like now's the time for me to take up cross country skiing instead or something like that. Like I enjoy the activity. It's just it's really scary, man. It's like I don't know if I can do it anymore. The fear, it's there. It's kind of like maybe this is a bad analogy, but like once you get a taste of human flesh, that's you're done. Like that's it. No, that's actually a terrible analogy. Or was it? It's like lines or something. Once you get a taste of human flesh, you have to like put them down, because now they like it and they know what it's like, and like they'll be aggressive with humans all the time. It's kind of like that, like I know what it's like, and now the fear, I can't get rid of it. Anyways, yeah, I was supposed to go this January, but now I don't know what to do anymore. Anyways, with regards to the game, let's talk about the game. I've been kind of rambling for the last 15 minutes or so. We're doing Duresso. If you couldn't tell, now you know. And after Duresso, we're gonna do Malachi, and we're gonna run out of pots. So let's TP out before we die. We seem to be doing fine. Right at this point, I think what I want to do is I really need to save up currency. And we kind of put ourselves in this position where it's like, okay, there are like a bunch of items that I need for the late game, because that's just how the build is gonna go. Like we're gonna need a bunch of items, stuff for stun, threshold. Like we need a better bow, and it's probably gonna have to be a unique bow. The helmet, the boots, and the gloves, I mean, that's just whatever we pick up. Same with the rings and the amulet. But for the bow, the quiver, we need. This is good enough. The cragfall, and then the belt. These are the things we're gonna need to buy. So basically, we need to sort of save up some currency. Oh god, get me out of here. We need to save up currency so that when we get into Merciless, we're currently in Cruel. When we get into Merciless, we can sort of blow all our currency and get the next set of gear that we need. We are sort of starting to stray away from the solo self-found philosophy, where it's like, what, whenever I get an upgrade, I get an upgrade. Once you get into hardcore, it's sort of like, it sort of feels like I have to trade just to keep up with the pace that I'm farming at, because I've gotten to this point where I know how to farm through the zone, so I actually progress through them pretty quickly, like relatively quickly, but my gear can't catch up. If I wanted my gear to catch up, I sort of have to. And in terms of clear speed, the clear speed is still the same. I'm just running through things faster. So the amount of gear I'm picking up compared to previous leagues is probably still the same. And as such, the chances of getting really good stuff is much lower now. So I'm kind of in this position where it's like, okay, I need good gear, and I'm like in a zone where I need to keep farming this zone for a while so I can get good gear in the first place. But at the same time, I'm like running through these zones so quickly because at this point I know how to get through it easily. But I'm gonna eventually run into gear checks, right? So what happens is, by the time we go, okay, this content is too hard now, we sort of have to go out and buy new gear, right? We have to go onto PoE trade and buy new stuff. And we get stuck in this cycle where we buy all this stuff and then we breeze through the content, and then our gear isn't good enough again and we have to go out and buy more stuff. So we keep going into the cycle where you have to like save money, and then we have to spend it, versus, you know, a lot of times in the past where we would save up a lot of money and really we'd never spend it until the late game, or at least when we get into maps, and then we just, you know, splurge it all, or we save it all. I don't know. But now, you know, I'm always low on currency because I'm just spending it so often. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, what's the point of having currency if you're not going to spend it? But at the same time, I get into late game and I'm like, man, like all this currency I spent in the early game, if I had saved it, I would have so much more, and I could buy like the gear that I really need at this point, right? So it's sort of a trade-off, but I guess in hardcore you want to be as well geared as possible. If this were standard, I don't think I would be buying all this crap. I really don't think so. But because we're in hardcore, I really don't want to die, and so I have to keep myself keep the gear at least, like, you know, within 10 levels of the zone or something like that, so that, you know, I don't get one-shotted, I don't die to bullshit. There's a lot more careful planning involved when you're playing hardcore. Whether that's good or bad, it really depends on, you know, what kind of player you are. I mean, I'm starting to accept it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you have to play the economy a little. I'm not selling stuff, but I am going out of my way to buy stuff instead of just waiting for something good to be found. It does reduce sort of the reward or the incentives, like the feeling you get when you get new gear, instead of, you know, finding something really cool. You're just like, okay, yeah, I got some currency. Okay, I'm gonna spend all this currency. I'm gonna buy this new stuff, and instead, you know, like the sense of accomplishment comes from seeing your character progress, as well as sort of going, oh, look at all the, you know, new goodies that I bought. Right? It's kind of like when you go Christmas Day shopping or something like that, or getting Christmas presents, I suppose, if you're still at the age where you get Christmas presents. Not honestly, I don't think I've gotten a Christmas present in years, but you get the point I'm making. Like, now, like, you know, the sense of fulfillment comes from buying stuff. But basically, even in Path of Exile, we've become an adult, right? Instead of going, oh, look at all this stuff I found, oh, look at all this stuff that I got, it's like, daddy's gonna buy a new iPhone, you know? And it's like, oh, I can't wait, like, to try out my new gadget, or, you know, my new bow, or my new ring, or whatever, right? My new unique item. And, you know, that's basically how we're playing Path of Exile at this point. Okay, enough rambling. Let's move on. So we are currently in the belly of the beast, level 1. So far, so good. In terms of my shoulder, haven't really noticed any pains since it's kind of been stuck in one position, except for that one time where I tried to use my right hand to type on the keyboard, just out of habit. When I moved it, it hurt like hell. But yeah, we're good. Like, I was really worried when I and this just shows like what kind of person I am, right? Like, I fall and everyone I fall and I fracture my arm, and my girlfriend was like, oh no, like, how are we gonna go on our skiing trip in January? And in my mind I'm like, oh no, how am I gonna play Path of Exile? That's exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about my health, you know, like, what if this is permanent? Well, I guess I was thinking of what if it's permanent, but it wasn't like, what if my arm is permanently injured and I can, like, never move my arm again? I'm like, what if my arm is permanently injured and I can never play a PC game ever again? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this is the worst day of my life. And you know what? After a while, after I calmed down, I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's just a tiny little fracture. At first, I actually thought it was like I had torn my rotator cuff or something like that. It was really painful. And I'm a bit of a pussy. I'm a bit of a wuss. Like, I had never broken a bone. I had never had a fracture. I'd never, you know, torn anything. Like, the worst injuries I have ever had is like a sprained ankle or something, right? Like, I had a very spoiled life, or a very pampered life, where I was just I avoided danger. And I guess skiing, you know, that's probably like the most dangerous activity I've done all my life. I mean, probably, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it sucked. It really sucks. But I just thought it was really funny how different, you know, the reactions were between me and my friends and my girlfriend. And by the way, for all the people, and I know I said this already this episode, you know, all the people that is sending, you know, get well wishes and all that stuff. Thank you, you guys are 100 times better than my friends. My friends heard about me getting hurt and they're like, man, you're just not cut out for skiing. They're like, dude, you know, maybe it's because you're too fat. That's why you got injured so bad every time. Like, this is the second time you got injured. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, man, fuck off, guys, you know. It's all in good fun, honestly. It's all in good fun. But they're like, dude, like, you have the worst luck. And I guess it's true. I mean, if that person didn't hit me, I wouldn't have gotten injured. But at the same time, I felt like I was. I don't know. Have you guys ever, you know, if you've gone skiing or maybe even snowboarding or rollerblading or skating, have you ever gone so fast where you're like, okay, I am going so fast where I feel like if I fall, I'm gonna break something. That's how I felt at that point in time, because I was having a lot of trouble stopping myself because it was very icy that day on the hills. And I was like, if I fall, I'm like dead, right? Like, I'm gonna break something. So I had that feeling the entire time, and I guess my my worries were confirmed because I ended up fracturing my shoulder. So there you go.
You've done well.
All right.
But let's not get
it's piety time. So we're gonna have a kind of a short episode today. I just kind of did this episode to test out my shoulder and see whether I could handle it or not. And from the looks of things, I am doing pretty well. My shoulder's a little tired actually because I do end up holding it in the same position. It's kind of like when you know, leave your elbows in the same position, you kind of get this little weird arthritis feeling, you know. So my joints are a little tired. But I mean, maybe we'll be able to get back to 1 episode a day schedule. If I'm lucky, maybe we can get back to 2 episodes a day. But a day. But honestly, that's very doubtful at this point in time.
Wasn't half the man you are, Marina.
But I mean, our episodes or our characters are doing fine. He's very strong. He's not too good in the breach, and the more I think about it, once we get into the late game, it's gonna be even harder. I mean, we have Pierce, but that's it, right? We only shoot 3 arrows. I guess 6 arrows at a time if we use double siege ballista. But you know, that's it. So not too sure how well we're gonna do in the breach, and I've been watching the breach videos, and they look very tough. I'm hoping the strategy is we just perma-stun everything, which does mean we need more damage. You know, we need more stun. We need a lot of everything. Not sure how we're gonna get that, but I mean, here's hoping, right? And I kind of want to use some of these new breach uniques, but I hear that they're all really expensive now. Like, I want to try that bow, which gives you, like, what was it, like 50% damage converted to fire damage or something like that. Like, that seems really cool. And then we go like Avatar Fire, that ring, or was it amulet? We go pure fire with siege ballista and stun. That would be cool. But I don't know. Maybe we just go with like a Lion Ice Glare, and then we save up for the Reach of the Council, and then that's gonna be the end game bow. I don't know. Still debating. We're gonna have to wait until we get into the end game before we figure out what we're gonna do with that. Man, this is a cool ring. Too bad it has no resistance. It says so much damage. I mean, it has chaos resist, but that doesn't count. How sad. Oh man. Okay, yeah. My arm is tired, so we're actually gonna call it an episode right here. By the way, I really love how everyone's comments have been, you know, hope you get better soon. Like, thank you. Yeah, it makes me feel happy that people are saying that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a short episode, but you know, hopefully there will be more in the future. There will be. Don't worry. Yeah, as always, if you like this episode, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more updates in the future. Otherwise, keep in touch, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Soon.